Hi guys, so you join me today and back at the Oaks. I've drawn Oak Lake Peg 1, so I've fished this peg a few times, quite like the peg. Peg 2's been doing business lately, but you never know. Hopefully we'll catch a few fish. Right guys, so we're 10 minutes into the match now, and to be honest I've not had a bite as of yet, so it is a bit of a slow start. I did expect one a bit sooner than now. I'm just going to go through where I've fed. So I've got a few lines on go. At the minute I'm at 13 metres in open water, so I'm just flicking odd maggot there. I've got 2 lines there. I've got one to the left that I'm on now and then one to the right, and then I've just fed a little ball of ground bait, so just one hand squeeze with a few maggots in. And then I've got a line up to the island, so between 14.5 and 16 metres. I've got a rig foot bottom there, and then I'm going to fish shallow as well a bit later on in the day. And then down this left hand edge, usually pretty good for some roach. And then a short line as well. So although it seems like there's a lot of lines that go there, they're all probably going to work at different times of day. So to start with, I'll probably catch, well, I was hoping to catch in this open water into island, and then as the day gets later on, I reckon I'll catch a few down this left hand edge, and then maybe a few skimmers or something short. But that's a plan. We'll see how we get on. So I'll give it half hour on that long line at 13 metres in open water, and to be honest I never even had a sign or anything. But I'm not going to give up on it yet. I'm still going to flick odd maggots on it, and I've just gone to island on bottom where I've been flicking maggots. As you can see, I'm into one straight away there. I'm fishing this 14.5 metres. So just off of that island, just flicking a few maggots around. I haven't potted any bait in there, so it's all just loose fed. And just fishing on the bottom for now, and then I probably will come shallow a bit later if I start missing bites, or I'll just let the fish tell me. But I've got one, which is the main. So there's not much been going on around me. Guy opposite, he's had a few in open water, but not much just yet. So I'm hoping mine do turn up in open water. But for now, I'm just going to keep flicking on it, give it another half hour, while I'm getting bites on this line. See what stamp is, and then I'll think about moving then. Like I say, I can see him opposite, I can see him to the left and down in peg 3. So for now I'm just going to keep an eye on them, and I'm just happy to get a fishing net, to be honest. It's taken a bit longer than expected, but we're on a little roll now, so that's the main. There we go, in straight away, and another one. This seems like an hide. Just bringing it round there, as you can see. Just take your time. Either a bit weird, the sort of twist and turn. I do like to come to the top and splash. I don't really want them splashing about much, but I'll take my time. Shipping back. Oh, there we go. That's a nice chunky hide, to be fair. It's usually mainly roach in this lake, and then a few hide as well. But I know they do stock hide every year, so there is some coming through now. But it did used to be, you'd be able to catch some big roach down at edges. These are pleasure lakes during summer, so they don't have any matches on these. It's normally just pleasure anglers. Got quite a few carp in. A lot of silvers, just get a load of bites. But to be honest, this time of year you don't get pestered with carp. Very rarely catch them in here. You might get the odd one or so, but there we go. Oh, missed that bite. You might get the odd one, but they're never a pain, which is quite nice. You don't have to worry about them, whereas I know on some silverfish leagues they can be a pain, can the carp. There you go, into another one. Just seeing where's easiest to ship. So I've got a hedge behind me. I can go through the hedge if it lines up well. I've got rowers directly behind me. But that means pulling the fish fully round, so I'd rather just bring them straight back than round. But sometimes they hit a stump. There we go. Another nice hide. It's going alright at the minute. Slow start, but putting a few fish together now. Still pinging on my lines, so I've got a lot lined up. Just chucking odd bit of maggot on that short line, not too much to start with because that's more of a later on. But I will have a drop on it every now and then just to see if there's any fish lined up there. There's not much different in depth compared to my long line, probably a float or something like that, just over a float depth. So it is still relatively deep for this lake, which this lake all over is not very deep, probably 4 foot. So I've got quite a few fish to the island. I reckon I'm probably on like £4-ish or so now, £5. But I've just noticed the guy opposite me, he's started catching really well in open water on his 13-metre line. And the big chunky fish, so to be honest, I can't really ignore that because I've got a line there as well. And the fish that he's catching are probably double the size of mine. So he is ahead of me at the minute, so it's one of them I need to catch on this line and able to catch up and beat him if I obviously want to do well, which I do. And lucky thing is I've got 2 lines on the go out here, so I've got this one that I've put most of my effort into, but one just at right, just flicking the odd maggot on it. Oh. There we go, one straight away. That's what I wanted to see, first time on it, and it's gone under. And it does feel like an hide, so that's what we wanted to happen. I'd have been a bit stuck if it did, to be fair. I'd have just had to carry on plodding on my other lines, try to make this work. As you can see, he's just netted another one opposite. He's catching a few, so I'm hoping just catch a few on here, flick on that right hand line as well, and then if this dies, catch a few on there and just rotate these. Ooh, it's going a bit mad. There we go. It's a nice hide. Straight back out. And I'm not going to ignore my other lines, obviously I'll keep flicking maggots to that island as well because I know I can catch fish there, and then down that edge. It's been a good line for me in previous matches, odd bit short. So although I'm putting a lot of effort into this line, I'm hoping I'll catch on my others a bit later on. I don't think these will stay all day. It's usually the case. But whenever it's hide and they're chunky, you've just got to keep going. You see then I just flick some maggots on that right hand side. Not many. There we go. This settled dink. And we're into another fish. This is how we like it. As I've said before, this lake's usually mainly roach, but the hides seem to be feeding quite well lately. I know peg 2 won't match. Midweek I think it was, with £44, so I know that it is big fish that you need to catch, and quite a lot of them to do a decent weight. I reckon you'll need £40-ish today to win. But if these stay lined up when they're that sort of size, it's not unachievable. Whereas the fish to the island, they're smaller, and obviously it's a bit more difficult fishing right around there at that sort of distance, so puts it against you a little bit, but we'll keep going and see what happens. There you go, I've just back out. As you can see, I didn't neglect this line, but it's Very weird how you can sit on it for half hour at beginning, hoping to catch, doing nothing different, not even a bite or an indication. Come off of it, leave it for half hour, like most people might have just neglected it there and then, that early into a match, but I've left it, kept flicking the odd bit of bait on it, not gone mad, not flicking many maggots out at all, come back on it, and then I've had 2 big-eyed in 2 chucks, and I'm hoping for some more in it. I am getting a little bit of indication out there, so I know there is fish around. It's just a case of keep laying that rig in. I think they see it more than anything. If it's sat on bottom for a while and you haven't had an indication, a little lift or drop, or just laying your rig back in sometimes, watch it down. As soon as it settles, you get that little dink and they're on. But yeah, I'm quite happy that there's fish on this line. As I said, him opposite, I think he's got another one on now, looks like. Let's have a look on the other line. I know there is fish on that left hand line still. It might be a case of I might catch 2 or 3, have to move over to this side for 2 or 3 fish and just keep going back while they settle. Them few maggots short. As you've probably noticed watching my videos here, I do like to keep very active. I'm not one for sort of like fishing for carp in winter. I don't like just being sat there. I like to keep moving around, flicking bait in, using a catapult. Probably goes against you sometimes, but that's why I like it up in these lakes. You can feed some bait and not be worried about it. It's all about putting it in little and often, in my opinion. I didn't get a sign on that line, but I won't neglect it because I know that I might catch a couple of fish off it later on. It's just a case of keep working it. If I go 15-20 minutes without one, then obviously there's issues, but as you've just seen there, left that one literally a minute, if that. Moved back over, rig settled, and it's gone. Weird how that happens. I think they know sometimes poles above them, obviously lines in water, just leave it then a few minutes, go back on and there's one straight away, and it does seem like a bit of a better fish. It's going well at the minute. If I can keep catching like this, I'll be very happy. There's another nice hide. You don't mind waiting a little bit when they're that sort of size. So I've had quite a good run, to be honest, at 13 metres, but it's just gone a little bit iffy. I'm not getting as many bites, so I think it's about time that I just dropped a little nugget in and then left it for a little bit, still flicking maggots on it, and I'm having a look down this edge. There you go, I'm into one straight away. It seems a bit like a smaller fish, but it's nice knowing that I can go to island, catch fish, I can come down edge, catch fish. So while I'm waiting for my other lines to pick back up, which are my main lines, I'm always putting fishing net, which I think sometimes that's where people might go slightly wrong. They might rely on 1 or 2 lines, and if that's not working, obviously you're a bit stuck and not putting out in net, whereas at the minute, they're not massive fish, but they're still weight builders. So whenever I can catch fish somewhere else while I'm waiting, it's always obviously good. There we go, little hide. Weird, I've had mainly hide today, not many roach at all. Might catch roach a bit later on if the hide switch off, but even down that edge, there's smaller hide down there, but they're still hide. I'm gonna go back out. Probably only catch 2 or 3 fish down here before I have another look on my 13 metre line. I don't want to leave it too long because I know that's where most of my weight's going to come from, looking at the size of fish that I've caught on my other lines compared to there. But obviously I don't want to just leave it 2 minutes and go back on it because I want to give fish a chance to settle. And whenever I can get bites and catch a few, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to rush or push it. If it gets a little bit later in the day, I might push that long line if I need to catch up but at the minute I'd say it's a bit neck and neck between me and guy opposite, so if he has a slow spell I'm putting fish in net. I think he's catching most of his on one line and he's come shallower a bit, so I think it has gone a little bit iffy for him, but I reckon it's pretty close between us now, so I'm just going to keep plodding away. I don't want to push it too much yet. Like I said, I've just dropped that little ball of ground bait in, not big, just a little bit of attraction to drag them back in, and then I'm going to catch a couple on here. Got that bite straight away. Oh, there we go, missed that one. There's a few fish down here, but they're not settled as I'd like them to be yet. I'll give it another minute or so, catch a fish, and then go back out and just rotate my lines. But if I go out and don't get out or any indications within the first couple of minutes, I'm not going to push it. I'll come off of it and then go to island, because I know that I will catch on that line again. There we go, I've got another one on. Through the bush, I can find the hole. It's a bit of a pain, but it's easier than swinging them right round. There we go, a little line, I think that one, or a little roach. But we'll carry on. Back out at 13-metre line, now my main line, so I did catch one more down that edge, but I couldn't resist coming back out long. So then when you know that there's big fish there to be caught, and as you've just seen then, I've gone straight out and into another one. Just take my time bringing it back. It's so much nicer fishing out here at 13 metres, I can just ship straight back, no issues. A little bush that's behind me sort of thing, onto rollers, and then it just sits on top of bush. Sometimes it gets caught, you might notice, but it's a nice fish. Little pull bung, see it flashing under water, and there we go. Just the stamp difference you can notice straight away from them down edge to them in open water. It's just mega. Keep flicking them few maggots. If I put too many in, I notice that the fish try coming up in the water, so I cut my feeding down and just try to keep them on bottom. Don't feed as often, just when I need to. It's all about just controlling it, getting the fish to feed where you want them to feed. I know the guy opposite's catching a few shallow, but then missed a few bites, and if they go iffy it'll be hard to get them back down on bottom, whereas this, I'm trying to keep them on bottom as best I can. I don't mind them coming shallow towards island, but on this line I'm just getting nice clean little dinks, strike and fish are on. Look at that. That's how I like to catch them. Like I say, they would come up in water, but then they go a bit scatty and I'd probably stay in control of on here. There's another nice fish. It's weird how you'll get them 2-3 really quick, and sometimes it'll go a bit iffy. If it stays like that it'd be mega, but obviously I know it's not gonna, so I've just got to make the most of it, be efficient while they're there. Look at that, another big fish. You can see how they do 40-50 pound of these when it's that bit warmer as well. Obviously it's cooling down now as we've had that snow and everything over a week. That cooled it down a bit, but they're still willing to feed, so whatever they're willing to feed I'm happy. Just laying that rig in, just holding on to it and letting fall through water, so I'm just using a 4x12's maggot, so not mega light, but obviously it's not, I won't say it's heavy in any stretch of the imagination, but it's not as light as what I'd go on some of them. But I am fishing on bottom rather than through water, so this one then, just lay it back in. It's the best thing, just does no harm at all, just lay it rig in and out. keeping that bait going in on other lines as well. So I have had 1 or 2 on that right hand line, but it's nowhere near as good as this. It's alright for resting it every now and then. So then a nice little dink on float, whacked into it, and another fish on. It is good when it's like this. Yeah, so ground bait that I like to use on these is super sweet. So it's very, very similar to dark F1, which is mega, but it has double the amount of the F1 flavouring in. So as you can imagine, it's super sweet, as its name gives it away. And then for elastic, I just use a 4 slip on a puller bung. So that's always worked really well. Only gone and got myself a golden half, haven't I? Look at this for a bar of gold. Got a golden one. Instant winner, wasn't it? So I've had a mega session on that 30-metre line, but it has just gone a bit iffy now, so I'm just having a look short. Obviously I've been feeding this all day. Just a few maggots, not loads. Let's see what I've got on. I've caught some quite nice skimmers and that on this line previously, so I know that it's one that we do catch on. There we go, fish straight away. I'm sure I've been doing this all day, but I don't think they'd have been there. 5 slip doing the business. Oh, it's quite a nice one. Nice big-eyed. And in fact, just look down its mouth and it's full of maggots down there, which shows me that there's not many other fish down there, because that's been eating all the maggots that I threw down. So it's probably a good idea I didn't spend much more time there. I've had the odd look on it, but now it's getting to end at session, so some of them I will have another look at it, because I've caught that one really fast. But I'm not expecting to get many on this line. I don't think it's full of them, otherwise the other fish would have been eating the maggots as well, and this one wouldn't have had as many down its throat. So yeah, it's a little indication there. Still feed them long lines, but it's one of them, it is getting a little bit harder, so I'm just going to have to rotate, put fish in net. If I can pick a couple up long, I will, but I don't think I'm going to hammer it like I have. I've had 2 really good runs on it. Probably got, I don't know, 30 poundish, so a decent weight. I'm happy with that anyway, so just keep rotating them. And now it's just about getting them extra few fish in the net before end of match. Everyone seems to have slowed down a bit, so it's that time of day. Sometimes it goes really good, sometimes it goes really hard, and it seems to have gone a bit difficult. We'll probably catch a few more to island shallow, but first I'm just going to give this an extra minute, and then yeah, we'll probably call it a day. Hope you enjoyed watching the video, and I'll let you know how I get on when I get home. So thanks for watching, and I'll probably see you on the next one. Slaying that rigging again, see if we can catch you a fish before I leave. See that bit of bait going in, but I'm not sure if it's going to go under. No, probably not. So I'll sign off there, and I'll see you soon. So as you can see, I'm back home now, and what a lovely day's fishing that was. Caught more or less all day apart from that first half hour, 40 minutes-ish. And I've ended up with £33 9 ounces, which has been second in match. So happy with that. I think Carl's won match off fur, and he's had 39.9. So there's been some mega weights. I think there's been another 33 and loads of backup 20s as well. So lovely day's fishing. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.